G'day everybody, it's Hunter here. Today we're doing another unboxing video on a new monitor that I just recently purchased. I've got a 27-inch LG monitor at the moment. It's a 1080p monitor. It's a really good monitor. It only goes up to 100 Hz, but I don't do competitive Counter-Strike stuff or anything that requires like crazy amount of hertz. So for my use case scenario, it's been perfectly fine. But I recently decided to upgrade so I can have a dual monitor setup, and I wanted a bigger one than 27. Couldn't go 34. 34 is just too big and will physically not fit in my very small workspace. But 32 with a 27 inch side by side just fits instead of a 34, and then I'd have to put the 27 on top, and I'll be looking up constantly. It just wouldn't work. So I decided to go with two different options I chose between. It was either the UltraGear LG 32-inch flat screen 1440p monitor, or the Asus ROG curved screen 32-inch 1440p monitor. I decided to go with the Asus because of the cost. The LG was like $800 and something dollars, where this was $400 and something dollars, and it has a higher hertz at 180 hertz versus the LG 144. Not much of a difference, but in terms of price per value, the Asus was kind of sort of hitting on the head. This still has AMD FreeSync and G-Sync capabilities. It doesn't have AMD FreeSync Premium like the LG UltraGear does, and it doesn't have the color accuracy the UltraGear has. But I've seen them side by side. In all honesty, you're gonna have to be real nitpicky to really carry on about the colors. This is a VA panel instead of an IPC panel like the LG is, but to be honest, when you put them side by side, the color difference, Asus do a really good job on their colors. It's slightly better on the LG, but then the blacks on this are way better, being a VA panel. The one good thing about this monitor as well, it doesn't have that issue that a lot of VA particularly curved panels, where you only have one specific spot on the screen where you can get where you basically don't get any distortion of colors or blurring or anything like that that you do with some other panels. This one's pretty good. You can see it on different angles and stuff like that. So this was $400. LG was $800. Yeah, it's kind of a $400 difference there. They do have a faster panel variant of this exact monitor, and it's a 240 hertz instead, and it's an extra $200 on top of this one. Again, I can't justify $200 for an extra 60 hertz. It just doesn't add up to me. I think it's 60. I can't do maths in the head. If I'm wrong, that's okay. Whatever, I don't care. Either way, it's still $200 more. There isn't too much information on these panels online. There's one video that someone's done, and it was on a flat screen variant, not the curved screen, and it was a 4K variant as well, which again, that was $800 for the 4K flat screen 32-inch. Again, I don't want to go 4K. The reason being is it's just not necessary. I'm not planning on having my games being like godly beautiful, but then also I take a hit on terms of performance, in terms of frame rates, especially if I turn ray tracing on with a 1440p monitor. If I decide I want to experience ray tracing in a game, it's not going to take a huge heavy hit on my GPU, which is a high-end GPU. It is a 79 XTX, and you can do 4K without any issues. I just decided the 1440p is the best cost, like performance per cost versus to me, in my use case scenario, it's the best. And it is completely subjective when it comes to this stuff. Honestly, unless you get a Samsung, you're going to be happy with a lot of monitors on the market. They're all pretty much going to be really good. It depends on your price. It depends what you want. Yeah, so I went with that because of that reason. I had a little dig there at the Samsungs. I've seen them in person, like the G5s, the G6, the G7s, and the G9s. Besides the OLEDs, anything that is below an OLED on Samsung is just absolutely shit, and their quality control is crap as well on their monitors, which is really funny because their TVs are actually really good, but their monitors are absolute dog shit. So Not a fan of their monitors, the G series, unless you get like a G9 massive thing, but even then people have had issues with them, so I just stayed away from them. But yeah, I went with Asus and I think I'm going to be pretty happy. So I bought this from PC Case Gear, and I got it probably not the cheapest I could get it, but I like PC Case Gear's customer service. That's the reason why I went with them. They also gave me a little bit of a present, which this is a little bit of a thank you. They gave me little lollies. I appreciate that. I will eat these. So to pair the monitor with to bring out its full potential, you do need a display port to get it at the full 180 hertz. So I went with a 14K compatible display port, and I only got 2 meter long one from Amazon. If I can somehow get it out of the packaging. Packaging is very weird. Anyway, so I just got the the brand is Ugreen, and to be honest, it will do the job quite well. It's braided 2 meters, which is more than enough length for the purposes that I will be needing. Sorry, not 14K, 8K. I'm sorry, I was wrong on that one, but an 8K. So this will do the full 180. This will go right up to like 360 hertz at 1440p or something like that. With display ports and HDMI cables, you do need to keep in mind that if you have so this is designed for 60 hertz at 8K, you need to be able to scale it down. So if you buy like say a 4K compatible display port or HDMI cable, there is actually a limit on how much hertz you can do. Where if you get an 8 to 14, you can get crazy hertz out of it. So I went with 8K, which allowed me to get up to like 300 and something hertz on the 1440, which is more than enough wiggle room for the 180 hertz I'm going to be using. Just keep in mind, these are really important. Like, you can't cheap out on a cable. You can spend all the money on this, but if you cheap out on this, and this wasn't expensive, but if you cheap out on this, you will lose the performance that you paid all that money for. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so let's do the unboxing. So just carefully cut this open so I don't scratch anything. Okay, let's have a look at this. It's plenty thick enough foam. It's a sarcophagus style, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to lay it out like this and pull it out. Oh wow! This is one good thing that, you know, people knock Asus a lot these days, but I have to admit, like, look how nice this is. And they do come with their own HDMI port. Like I said, I'm not using HDMI, I'm using display. The reason why is I have 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports on my graphics card. One HDMI port is already being used by the current monitor that I have, the LG. The other HDMI port I use in my VR headset. So I will not use a HDMI port, so then I don't have to keep unplugging my monitor every time I want to use VR. So that's why I'm going to do that. Let's pull this out. Oh, okay, so let's have a look. Before we look at the monitor, let's have a look at this base plate. Now I'm not going to use the base plate because I've already got arms, so I don't need to worry about that. But what we're going to do for review purposes, we're going to set this up so you can have a look. This is a really, really nice base. That's good quality. Wow. That's super nice. It's made out of plastic, and it's got like this bit here is metal, which is good. And it kind of looks like it spins, but I don't think it does. It looks nice. And it's got a phone holder in here, which surprisingly on my LG, when I had the mount for that. I actually used the phone holder quite a bit, but then I got a headset stand that's got a phone holder in it, so I don't really use it that much anymore. Plus it's on an arm, so don't use it at all. Let's check out this. Now I'm going to keep the box for just in case warranty something goes wrong, but I'm only going to hold it for a certain period of time. So this is just going to go back to the box. Have a look. It's heavy duty, like it's pretty heavy for what it is. This is vacuum sealed. Just trying not to ruin the components too much, so I don't want to keep it all just in case something goes wrong. That's a heavy duty mounting system too. It looks like it's toolless. What we're going to do, this just slides in like that, and then you've got your little screw at the bottom here. We'll just screw that in, so you can see, screw that in like that. Just make sure I don't drop this on the monitor, otherwise that would be a very stupid mistake. All on YouTube for me to share. So it has an up and down. Oh, that's cool. It's got tilt. It does tilt. It doesn't have swivel though. Doesn't look like. Oh, it does. No, it's got swivel. That's a really, really good mount. Okay. It's weird. In the past, I've only, like when it comes to monitors and stuff, I've only ever gone cheap. Just because I just never really saw the point of spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But now that I've got this computer, I kind of have to justify it. So you got your power cable, which this is an American power cable, and it gives me an Australian power cable, which is good because I was a bit worried if I didn't get that, I wouldn't be able to use it. Instruction book, some ROG stickers, which I'm definitely going to be sticking on my toolbox. And a very nice ROG HDMI cable. Holy shit. Huh. No, it isn't a display cable. It is, it isn't a HDMI cable, it is a display cable. So I went and purchased a display cable for no real good reason. Isn't that funny? But that's okay, because I could use the display cable on the LG instead of using two HDMI and display cable. So that's actually a possibility that I can do now. It doesn't look like it's very long though. I won't until I set it up. It's interesting with this display cable though, it doesn't have little locking lugs. Neither does this one actually. That's actually really good. I don't like the locking tab on display cables. It always annoys the shit out of me. It's always hard to get your hands in, especially when the cables are like right next to each other. Oh, well that's good to know. So Asus ROG 32-inch curved screen TVs, monitors, and all the other stuff come with a display cable. That is really, really good. Not even the LGs come with displays. At least all the ones I've ever owned don't. Alright, so and it comes with this nice little carry case too, which I will use to hold some components and stuff like that. So that's really, really nice. I'm going to definitely use that. Alright, let's put this all back in here. Now let's have a look at this monitor and then see what it looks like. Okay, just going to be gentle. You can already see that it's I have no idea what the hell that is, but anyway, it's like a little toggle on it. Okay, that's the next question. That's not too bad. Very gently. Woo! This is a big boy. So this is the back of it. As you can see, it is a standard sort of mounting brackets for a monitor arm, which is good. You can see that little screw looking thing down the bottom there. Looks like it's a toggle, so that must be like your directional panel to be like directional button to be able to select different settings and stuff in the menu. it is got quite a nice curve to it, a lot better than a 27-inch, and it's quite heavy. It also has USB-C in it, like capability, and the response time, ignore that. On monitors, the 1 millisecond, they're all 1 millisecond. There's no difference between OLEDs, IPC, and all that sort of stuff. Unless it says less than 1 millisecond, I would just completely ignore that fact because it's just marketing words. So let's see how this will work. So it looks like you just do it the hardest way possible. Probably should really just put it back in here, to be honest. Being very gentle. Just do it this way. There's a little button down the bottom it looks like to deactivate, so you just simply slide that in. And there you go, you're in. There we are. Nice. It is really, really, really good. I like this a lot. So you've got your swivel, your up and down. So you can go up and down. And there's a little tension screw here. But it looks like with tension on this, bit of weight, it sits exactly where you want it. So that's really, really good. You have a little bit of a twist there. Not much, about that much. Now that's really, really good. I really like it. Alright, well, now I need to set it up and turn it on and see what it looks like. So we're going to get to that stage now, and I'll be back. Alright, so she is all in, and I can tell you side by side, the colours on this really pop. So that's the LG, that's 100Hz display. And then this is the Asus, which is 180Hz. Now this is a VA panel, and then that's an IPS panel. So just like side by side, you can see the difference in color already. I way prefer the display on that. Now I've already set it to 180Hz. It was pretty easy. The one thing I've noticed is HDR is not enabled, which I don't understand why. So I might muck around with my graphics card settings, because I know it does have a HDR certificate, so that's why I'm a bit confused on why it's not activated. But anyway, I'll muck around with the settings and try and get it to work really well. But it, as you can see, it just barely fits in this area. A 34 definitely would only fit here, and then like I said, that display would have to be on top, which I would get a lot of head strain. I mean, even here, like you see, it's not exactly straight, but it's okay because I don't mind sitting and playing on a little slight angle. It's not the end of the world, but this is going to work really well. Very happy with it. It's absolutely gorgeous pictures. I've got the setting at cinematic, just to really get the colors to pop. FPS mode makes it a little bit darker, a little bit nicer on the eyes, but I'll play around the settings as I go along. But yeah. The Asus ROG X32 whatever it is, hands down solid buy. I'll put the link in the description below. Bye.